The Supreme Court affirms the issuance of a writ of amparo to protect victims from extrajudicial killings and threats as it rules in favor of drug war widow Kristina Gonzalez. Gonzalez's husband was killed by Antipolo police officers in an operation at the height of former President Rodrigo Duterte's bloody war on drugs. The Second Division denied the petition for review, which questioned two resolutions of the Court of Appeals upholding the privilege of a writ of amparo in favor of Gonzalez. So what does this ruling mean for other victims of the former administration's war on drugs? Joining us now for insight is attorney Kristina Conti of the National Union of People's Lawyers, or NUPL. Attorney, thank you so much for joining us. For the benefit and information of our viewers, can you explain to us briefly what writ of amparo means?
The writ of amparo comes from the word amparar, which means to help. It comes from a Spanish word to help, and it is literally a call for help to the judiciary. So this is not an executive or a judicial remedy. It is a special remedy created by the court. And because the courts can issue protection orders, this is the very meat of the writ of amparo. It calls for help and for protection from state forces that could possibly be a threat to your life, liberty, or security. And this is the other aspect of the writ of amparo in the Philippines. It can only be called upon if there are state forces or state participation in the threat to life, liberty, or security.
So, attorney, before we get into the crux and to the meat of the issue, what is the difference between a writ of amparo and a writ of habeas corpus?
It's sort of an improvement because in the writ of habeas corpus, the point of that writ is to produce you in court and to check if your detention, your arrest, your detention is legal. And all the law enforcement officers would have to do is present you before the court, bring the body to court. With the writ of amparo, it goes beyond that. There are a lot of other interim reliefs that you can ask for, including the production of the body, because although in this situation, it's the writ of amparo aims to address EJKs, extrajudicial killings, so makapatay ka na, or also, but of course, desaparecidos, so it enforces disappearances. But then it goes beyond. You can also have protection orders. You can ask for the court to shield you against the perpetrators or the law enforcement agents. You can also ask for an inspection order. You can, because you can look for missing persons, you can go to government areas or detachments or military camps, etc., and literally look for your kin or your relatives. You can also ask for a witness protection order. In that sense, which would qualify you for protection by the DOJ or any agency of government.
Thank you so much, attorney, for that explanation, especially for all our viewers who would like to find out these legal terms. So, on a wider scale, what does the Supreme Court's affirmation of this writ of amparo for a widow whose husband was killed in 2016 now mean for thousands of families of drug war victims?
Well, it means that there is hope. I'd like to point out that in this decision, the Supreme Court clearly put it that the killing is an extrajudicial or extralegal killing. So with this definition, it means that the state clearly perpetrated or conducted the killing. Well, of course, the killing in this instance was in a body-bust operation. I would suppose it's a quote-unquote legitimate police operation. So clearly, the persons who were responsible for the killing were state forces. But then there's another twist. Kristina Gonzalez, there's another layer to it. Kristina Gonzalez actually herself is under threat, and I would presume until today, because the Supreme Court affirmed again the writ of amparo, meaning that they are telling us that the threat continues until now.
So
the threat is upon her person, not only because she is the widow, but also because she herself, it was noted in the decision, She was also, I think at one point, arrested by the
So,
police.
attorney, what is the next step after this?
The next step for Kristina or for all of us?
For Kristina and for all the others.
say, for all the others, if there is a pending threat against you, if you still feel insecure, unsecure, if you feel that the police are lurking around you, as in the case of Kristina Gonzalez and her family, you can ask the court to literally stop these law enforcement officers, sabihin na po natin police o kaya militar, na lumapit sa inyo. In her case, the distance is, as quoted, 1 kilometer. So the specified policeman cannot go to you or reach you because, of course, there's the emotional and physiological trauma from contact, direct contact. But then there's, on the other hand, there's the problem that it is only addressed to several persons. The respondents in the petition, it does not apply to all policemen, all other policemen.
Attorney, I'd like to jump in, no? Because the president has said that the country would not rejoin the International Criminal Court, stressing that the government was already investigating alleged crimes of law enforcers and they're being prosecuted. Is this a clear example of that, or should the ICC continue the probe or not?
This is not an example of an investigation because this is a personal request by a drug war widow for protection. There was no investigation conducted by the executive department, and as it would appear, there is no clear policy statement from, of course, the judiciary cannot say that this decision would apply to all other cases. What the ICC wants is an investigation into pattern and policy, not just isolated incidents. We can call this case as isolated because it only pertains to the circumstances and facts of Gonzalez and her husband. As to all others, it's hard to assume. And there's only one way that you can go into the details of all other cases or look into the pattern. It's either to have an investigation here in the Philippines on all the cases or by an international court.
Attorney, thank you so much for your insights. Kristina Conti of the National Union of People's Lawyers.